Today is our first episode and we're going to do something a little bit special. We are going to make pumpkin chocolate chip cookies because I'm obsessed with TV and I was watching Bunheads. Apparently they mentioned pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. It sparked my interest. I did a search. I found this recipe and I really like it. So come take a journey with me on this culinary masterpiece. Okay? So what you need first is you need 2 sticks of butter. Unsalted. That's the important part. They need to be unsalted because if not, your cookies are going to taste really salty and that's fucking gross. Make sure they're softened or, you leave them out like for 20 minutes before you use them. I personally like to slice them up because it just makes it easier to cream. And as a lot of my friends will tell you, I am the creaming king. It's cool. Okay? Bam! Alright, you cut your butter, it's in a bowl. Now we're going to cream it. And make sure you're using the paddle attachment if you have one of these sexy things. Because if not, the whip one doesn't work that well. It whips your butter and you don't want that. And then the dough attachment just won't do shit. Crikey! A white softball player just appeared in my kitchen! Oh, Christ! Okay, now that we've creamed our butter, we need half a teaspoon of salt. So you still need a little salt in your cookies just to, open up your taste buds and make them more open to the amazingness of the cookie. But you don't want salted butter because then it really does make it too salty. So, we have some salt. Put it in there. That's good. Okay. Now we need white sugar and brown sugar, a cup of each. So let's measure that shit out right quick because we gotta cream it with the butter. So then now we add our sugars to our butter. More butter. Butter, y'all, is butter is everything in a kitchen, especially when you're trying to do something like this. Butter is your best friend, y'all.
And today, we're going to make butter.
And not only are we making butter, we are going to fry that butter and then dip it in some cinnamon sugar, fry it again, and roll it in some diabetes. Okay, now that we have our sugar and our butter and our salt creamed, we're going to need to add eggs. Y'all are going to need 2 eggs for this recipe. Add them one at a time, and then mix and make sure that it gets mixed in really well. This you can do on high. There's a lot of things on high in my house. Everyone is high in my house. Not literally, but they're on their own tip, if you know what I'm saying. All the time, because you don't know what you are picking up. And that is just nasty when your cookies give you salmonella. Girl, you don't want that. Alright. So after that, we have to add vanilla and pumpkin puree. Bam! Recycle that shit. We need our planet to survive, so we do. Okay. Now that we have added vanilla and all that stuff, we're gonna mix that all up nice and delicious. Remember, y'all, to wear an apron, like my apron, because it's freaking awesome. But it just protects your clothes from like everything, obviously. That goes without saying, but I say it anyway because there are some people that will attempt this and then fuck up their shit. Get all up in your weave, and then you gotta go and get that shit fixed. No, no, no. Now, our dry ingredients, we're gonna put them in a separate bowl and combine them. We're gonna add our baking soda, and we're gonna need 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And it's really important that you get the measurements for baking soda right, because it's what makes your cookies come up and become light and fluffy. And if you don't put enough, you'll get really flat, chewy cookies. And if you like it that way, great. If you don't, make sure you're doing it right. And make sure you don't add too much, because if not, they'll just explode in the oven, and you do not want to clean that up. It is a pain in the... Now we're going to add a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, a fourth of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and a fourth of a teaspoon of ground cloves. Now that we've sifted all our spices into our flour, we are going to need to whisk them all together to incorporate them evenly into our batter. Now, you want to add your dry ingredient mixture into your batter really slowly, because if not, you put it all in at once, you're going to get this like giant flour cloud puff come at you and like try to just kill you. So add it in slowly. Perfect. Done deal. Okay, so if anybody has made cookie dough before, you know that the consistency is supposed to be obviously doughy. But this recipe, the way it is, I guess, formed or whatever, your batter is gonna be like a mix of dough and like cake batter. It's gonna be a really thick, almost like a brownie batter. But don't worry about it, because that's just the way these cookies are. And when you put them in the oven, you're gonna freak out a little bit, but then you take them out and they're fluffy and delicious. So don't worry about it. You're doing it right. Don't worry. Now we scrape our sides like always. We all know how important scraping sides are. Every little bit counts when you want delicious, delicious cookies, and a lot of them. Delicious. Y'all look. This is how it's supposed to look. See? It has like this consistency. It's like a really thick batter, but it's not really a dough. That's how it's supposed to look. And now, everyone's favorite part. Great for if you have tiny children or adults that act like children and they want to help out. Just open up the bag of chips. You're going to need 12 ounces. So basically just any bag of 12 ounces will do. And just dump them in and stir your life away. Grease your cookie sheet so your cookies don't stick and you got a nasty mess afterwards. So now we scoop them on. A little bit, a little bit. And you want to leave kind of like an inch, because even though they will expand, they won't expand like outwards, they'll more like they'll expand like up. So because these cookies are a lot more cakey than they are chewy. Now we're gonna bake all of our cookies, and we will see you in a little bit. Hey, what's up? So, after a good long while, we have finally baked all of the cookie dough, and we have pumpkin chocolate chip cookies from heaven. So, I got about like 30 something cookies, but I made them really small. So, usually you'll get like 24 out of a batch. So I hope that this was entertaining for you and that you like it and that you use this recipe, and I will probably put the link below. So just subscribe to the channel and we'll see you next time.